Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I'd do a haul because I haven't done a haul in like 5 months and I'm just trying to unhaul all of these books that are currently stacked in front of me. Sometimes I just like keep books on my shelf that I like remember that I haven't talked about yet or just like shared with anybody. And there is sort of an excitement to sharing the books that I get with people, which is why I really love filming book hauls, even though they don't really have room to talk about any of these books because I haven't read any of them. But yeah, I hope you have a note pen ready. I hope you have your note-taking apps ready because I definitely am about to dish you some recommendations. A lot of these books I heard about from my friends, and as soon as I heard about them, I added them to my TBR or purchased them. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first book I have here is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This one comes out on May 2022 and the publisher sent me this. Let me see what the publisher is. It is Orbit, so it's definitely a fantasy, and this kind of looks YA to me and it sort of feels like a YA title, but I'm not sure. And as with all my videos, my book hauls, if you'd like to know more about the book, I will leave the links to all the books down below. I don't really look at synopses anymore before I read, so I won't be talking about the plot unless I know some things. I know a lot of people like to do that now, so if you're interested in that, please just check the link down below. I kind of don't want to spoil it for myself. But anyway, The Stardust Thief, I'm excited to take a look at this. I've been craving some fantasies, although I don't know if I'm in the mood for a YA fantasy. I received a lovely package from the Netflix book club, and in that they recommended, or they basically sent me 2 books that were becoming adapted. So the first one is A Sweet Magnolias novel, which feels like family by Cheryl Woods. Don't know how enthusiastic I am about this, but this next one is my current read, which I am very enthusiastic about, and it is The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. This is the second Bridgerton novel, I believe, or it's just about Anthony, and I think this is what the second season of Bridgerton is based off of. And I finished watching Bridgerton season 2, and I absolutely loved it. It's my favorite season now, so I thought I would jump into the book because I had it, and honestly, it's just like kind of what I need right now. It's very like easy to read, kind of like, you know, you can just like shut your mind off while reading it, and I really love Anthony and Kate. So I'm excited to read the rest of this, and I hope if you guys are reading it too, if you've watched Bridgerton season 2, let me know in the comments down below. This next book was sent by my friend Robbie on Instagram, and it is his new debut, If You Change Your Mind by Robbie Weber. I'm so excited for Robbie. This is supposed to be like the summer rom-com of the season, about movies, about a romance between 2 boys, and it's supposed to be really fun and summery. I'm very excited, as you can tell. Obviously, I've been talking about this book nonstop, and I can't wait to honestly just bring this to the beach and channel the kind of like energy of this book. This next one I received from my favorite author at the moment, Rachel Griffin. She debuted her book, The Nature of Witches, in 2021, I believe. It's like a witch, climate change, science-y, like seasonal witches kind of book. And she's releasing a new novel this year, and it is called Wild is the Witch, an Enemies to Lovers contemporary fantasy standalone. So this is a standalone. I believe The Nature of Witches was a standalone too. I'm not really sure, don't quote me on that. But this is hyping up to be like one of my favorite novels of 2022 because The Nature of Witches was also one of my favorite novels of the year it was published. So I'm very much excited about this. This is a limited edition ARC that was sent by the publishers. And yeah, I can't wait to tell you all about this. The next one I have here might look a little familiar. This is called Tokyo Dreaming by Emiko Jean. This is the sequel to Tokyo Ever After, which is a book that I read last spring, and this spring the sequel is coming out. I believe in like, it's coming out in May, and I'm excited for this one, but also at the same time a little nervous because the first book I gushed about, if you saw my vlog. Wow, can't speak today. But if you saw my vlog, I really enjoyed the first one, and I thought it ended at a really great point in the character's arc and the character's story. So I don't know what possibly this book could be about, but I'm kind of excited to dive in not knowing what it's about, just revisiting this world and the characters that I really love. Alright, so the next thing I'm showing here, I got a really adorable package from Chronicle Books. We were talking about something, I don't know how this came to be, but we were talking on Instagram and mentioned I was having a bad week, and they were so kind as to send me like a little care package. If you don't know, Chronicle Books is like, I think it's a publishing company, I'm not really sure if it's an imprint, but I'll leave their website down below, but they just have a bunch of like fun interactive books that I think is just so cool. Like they asked me to pick some things out, and it took me like at least an hour to choose like even 3 things because there's so many cute stuff. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so the first book that I have is Anxiety is My Sidekick. This is a journal for feeling all the feelings. Look how holographic and beautiful it is. And I thought this was cute just because it had like little prompts in it, but it also had space for you to write. I mean, not that I need another journal, but like I will use any excuse to have some cute, just like motivating side table coffee books. So the next one is Nevertheless She Wore It, another journal. Wow, okay, like I needed another journal, but I think this one just has like quotes from like inspiring women in history, and again, another journal. This next one I am super hyped for. It is Chinatown Pretty, Fashion and Wisdom from Chinatown's Most Stylish Seniors. You could find this on their website. I'll link all the books down below. But this is the most beautiful book I've ever seen. Also, like, I cry when I see this because I think of my grandma. But it just includes some portraits of Chinatown's seniors and their fashion sense. And I really think their fashion sense resonates with mine. Like, I feel like when I get older, I'm going to be like a Chinese grandma who like just wears a bunch of funky colors and prints and like doesn't care what anyone thinks of me. Like, this is just so wholesome. I'm so happy to have this on like my coffee table so that my guests or like my visitors can just like scan through it. It's beautiful. I love it. The next thing I have is this artful organizer in the vintage camera. I don't know if you can see it. It's like behind me. No, you can't really see it. But basically it's like an art organizer that you can make yourself. So like I said, their website just has a bunch of funky things like journals and DIYs and crafts and like picture books as well. And then the last one I have from them is Bibliophile Diverse Spines. I haven't really looked through this one yet, but I know that it just includes like a lot of spine drawings, which I actually really like. I really want a poster of spines. Oh, I love this one. So this is like a spines of speculative fiction. So yeah, again, super excited to go through these. They're just really nice books to flip through with their super good quality, and I would highly recommend checking out their website. Okay, so the next thing I have here is The Rumor Game by Danielle Clayton and Sonia Cheriopatra. I remember when I read Tiny Pretty Things from, I think, this duo of authors who published that, I believe. And I really love that book. I'm excited to get to this one. I know it's YA, and I've been really out of YA lately. I'm telling you, just like slowly and slowly I'm leaving the YA category. But this is super cool because it has like phone text messages and stuff. So I really like multimedia things with like text messages or tweets or anything. I just really love when authors get creative like that. So I'm excited for this one. This kind of reminds me of like 7 Reasons Why, 11, I don't even know what that show is called, but yeah. I don't know if you'll recognize the author's name, but I have another book by Emiko Jean. She's actually coming out with multiple books. This is coming out this summer too, in 2022. She's just dishing them out. But this is Mika in Real Life, a novel by Emiko Jean. I have not read the synopsis for this one, and I kind of want to go into it a little bit, not knowing anything. So for the sake of that, I will be sparing you a synopsis to interest you in this book. But I would highly recommend checking out Emiko Jean because her writing is just phenomenal, and her characters are very relatable and very just like mature. So yeah. Okay, so the next thing I have here, Disney Books sent me a package with all the Arusha books. So I have all 5 of them here, and I'm excited to read these. I really actually kind of want to do a reading vlog. Oh, and these are by Roshani Chokshi. And yeah, I know she's a really popular YA author, and I've read some of her books, but I have not read this series. I don't know if this is the last book, the 5th one, but I'm going to be doing a post for them. So yeah, maybe I'll do a vlog for these series. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do a vlog of this series. It's a Rick Riordan Presents book, so it's definitely going gonna be really good and thrilling, even though this is probably not my like age group anymore. I've kind of like aged out of these types of books. But yeah, let me know. Okay, and the last two books I have here that were sent by publishers, I don't think I hauled this one, but I have Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee, and I talked about this in one of my wrap-ups and not really enjoying it as much, but the publishers were super kind as to send me a finished copy. It is so gorgeous. I kind of really wanted to have it on my shelf though, because it is a pretty significant book in terms of like the representation and the way it's written, so I really did want a copy, and this is just so beautiful. This book also comes out in April. It comes out in April. Okay, so it comes out really soon. By the time you're watching this video, it's probably out already. So definitely check out Portrait of a Thief. This book follows an art heist by college students as they try to reclaim Chinese art back from Western institutions. So if that premise didn't sell you, I don't know, it will. Okay, so the next two books I have here I got from my indie bookstore because I had some points saved up, so I just purchased a book so I can get one for free. So the book that I bought was this beautiful copy of Disorientation by Elaine Chow. Oh, I am chef's kiss. This is the most beautiful cover I've ever seen. Just like the pink gradient and like the messy room sort of vibe. And the font, the typography it's melting my heart. But anyways, I don't know much about this book. The only reason I bought it was because my really great friend Esther on Bookstagram recommended this to me, and I feel like any book she reads, she kind of has a similar taste in me with books. But all I know is that this follows a Taiwanese American PhD student, which is very intriguing because I love seeing representation, especially with books that kind of resemble me. I want to someday get my PhD, and I feel like reading about a Taiwanese American person is just so interesting. My mom's Taiwanese, so yeah, I am very excited to read this. As you can tell, I know this is definitely going to be up there with one of my favorites predicted of this year, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. So the next book I bought on that trip is Pachinko by Minjin Lee. As you guys know, I'm a huge advocate for Pachinko. I already have like 2 copies at home, but in my apartment here I don't have any copies, so I thought that I'd want to do like a reread soon, sometime in the future, especially because the TV show just came out and I am slowly making my way through that. It's kind of hard because you can't really watch all the episodes at once because it's very like painful to watch sometimes, and it's very heartbreaking and very sad, so like I don't want those emotions all at once. So yeah, I'll probably be doing a vlog reading this and watching the show. The next book I have is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. Wow, my AAPI book stack for May is just looking absolutely gorgeous right now. This book follows also some Chinese mythology with a little bit of folklore, and I know that it follows like a celestial kingdom. First of all, this cover is just giving me so many emotions right now. I know it's going to be a really good one. I've heard great things, and it's a really long book, so hopefully it'll be a really great fantasy read. Then I have Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri, and I remember talking to you guys about Jhumpa Lahiri last spring in some of my vlogs because I was required to read some of her like her short stories for my Asian American Lit class, and I finally jumped the gun and picked up Whereabouts because this book is stunning and it also has some of the stories that I read. So very excited for this, and I hope you pick this up as well because it's a very beautiful book, and her writing is definitely one of the most inspiring and just beautiful things that I've ever read, so high praise. This one is pretty random, but I work at a bookstore, and the bookstore I work at is like my school bookstore, so we have a bunch of textbooks for classes. So I saw this one that really intrigued me and I ended up picking it up, but it is The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat and Other Clinical Tales by Oliver Sacks. I don't know, the cover intrigued me, but also the title really intrigued me. It's really rare that I find a title that just like blows my damn mind that I like end up buying it for no reason. But I know this is a text for one of the classes. I forgot which class, probably like a psychology class. So I'm excited to read it because it's basically been vetted by the professors at my college, which is, I don't know if that's saying a lot, but it's a little credible. I guess you could give them some credit. So yeah, I'm excited to read this, and it's kind of like a book that's written in like short stories. There's like different people that it follows, so I know that it's probably one that I'll just like pick up back and forth. The next one I have here is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon, which I actually just finished. This was like my recent read. This one is a rom-com with a TV meteorologist and a sports reporter who scheme to get their bosses who are exes back together but end up falling in love. It's really complicated, but as with everything with Rachel Lynn Solomon, Rachel's books are just like so like, how do you describe it? They're so like, I was about to say edible. They're so digestible. Like they're just so easy to read and you can read them fast and it's just really enjoyable at the same time. So yeah, this one definitely blew my mind as well. Another one I have here that I actually read is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I bought this mostly because of the hype, but honestly, guys, I gotta say that this book was really good. Like, this book blew my mind because I bought it because I was just like, okay, let me just satiate the people. Let me just read it. Let me just read it to see what the hype is. And it's one of those cases where like I didn't hate it. I don't hate to hate, but I also am just like not a person who likes overhyped books because I end up like psychologically just not enjoying it. But this book I actually really enjoyed. It's about a girl who finds out that she has inherited like this huge legacy, like a lot of money basically from this like billionaire, I think, and she has to like, but like she doesn't know the billionaire at all. I'm describing it in such a really shitty way, but she like didn't know who he was, but she just inherited all this money, so she has to find out like the mysteries behind why she inherited all this money. It's very interesting, very good. If you like riddles and puzzles, you will enjoy this book. The next title I have here is A History of My Brief Body by Billy Ray Belcourt. I purchased this one recently. I've honestly, like I said, I work at a bookstore with all like the texts and textbooks from classes, and I've honestly just had my eye on this for such a long time. I've been wanting to read a lot more poetry or a lot more like less fiction-y type books, and this is by an Indigenous author. All I saw was the praise by Layli Long Soldier, and I'm like, yep, gotta pick it up. I'm really excited for this one. I know it talks a lot about, I don't know, but it just seems really interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I've been hearing some good things about it, and I know that it was chosen for like one of the English classes, which I really trust the judgment of the English professors or like the recommendations of them. So I'm excited to read this as well. Okay, so those were all the books that I've hauled in the past month. I am super excited to get to all of them, but now I just have a giant pile of books sitting under my feet, and it's quite overwhelming because I don't really read very fast, so I don't know how I'm gonna get to all of these. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you would, and don't forget to check out all the links for these books in the description box down below if you'd like to know more. Sorry I couldn't give any synopses, but that's how I roll. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.